such sights to show you.
You are all going to die tonight.
This is bad comedy.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Hun, Your Geek is Showing. I am that bitch, Callista Valentine.
Whoop, whoop.
Joining me, as always, my faithful indentured manservant, the random man guy, JB.
I think the adjudicator's just pissed herself laughing. Oh, you got her from across the room. Kudos.
Start the show with a giggle. Why not?
Why not, indeed? Good evening, everybody. Hello.
So, Guy, how have you been?
I've been a busy boy.
Yeah, I've been a busy girl. Lots of meetings to attend and things to talk about and reasons to fucking celebrate. But I'm not talking about that on here.
Okay. Reasons to be cheerful.
Mhm.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, 1, 2, and fucking 3. But
Oops, no, copyright. Oops.
suppose we should move quickly on then.
Yes, we should.
We'll get on with the shout out.
Oi.
And up first this week, we have a comment from Sue. Cali, when you explain things you show, you might want to explain it better. Good to see you all again. See you all on the next one. My comment in response was, thank you for pointing that out. I didn't realize while we were filming, when I was talking about my Hellraiser cube, that you and Jimmy were tittering away to yourselves. It was pointed out to me that it's because I said that it was thick and heavy. Did not catch that well filming, did not catch that well editing. It flew right over my fucking head. So thank you, Sue, for pointing that out. Thank you for making me look like a twat. I mean, I don't need much help in that department, but thank you for helping. Up next, we have the man, the myth, the beard, Mr. JK, the Ginger Ninja JK. A great video all and fantastic discussion on the expanded universe of Star Wars. I mean, we each kind of knew our own little corner of it. I knew more the video games, Guy knew more the books, and Jimmy knew more the comics. So we kind of had a nice little, back and forth, although we did have to enforce the rule of shut the fuck up at one point with Jimmy. God bless him, we love him to bits. But there are moments where we had a time schedule to stick to that week, and we could not go on randoms and rants for longer than we wanted to, unfortunately. Maybe we'll go back to it later on. As more TV shows and expanded media come out, maybe we'll revisit it. If you're looking for a new show, Chucky, yes, I do want to watch that. Where is it streaming on?
Yeah, what's this? What's this now?
Chucky, the TV show. Chucky, the series based on Child's Play.
We'll miss that.
Apparently, it's on its 3rd season now, I think.
Really?
Yeah. I've been tracking it, but not being able to watch it because I don't know where it's streaming. If it's on a service that I don't have, then please, someone maybe send me one of those little sticks with it on, maybe. Just
Putting it out there.
Putting it out there. I'm willing to pay.
I bet you are.
Just saying. I just finished season 2 and moving on to season 3. Yeah, sorry, yeah, it does cover it. There are 3 seasons. Lots of fun with a lot of throwbacks to the movies. Good. I've seen little clips here and there, and I'm like, want to watch this. The expanded Star Wars is not something I'm all too familiar with, besides the N64 game Shadows of the Empire. That's the one that I was talking about, like a first-person Doom-alike.
Yeah.
Which I play excessively, and the recent Disney shows. But even then, I'm blind to on most of them. I haven't started Ahsoka. Haven't finished the latest Mandalorian. I am sure there's another series in there somewhere.
Well, yeah.
There's a few. There's a few, JK.
Yeah. Yeah. A little behind, mate.
Goes on to say, I did watch Rebels and really enjoyed it. Not sure if I finished it or not, though. I hadn't even started it, so
You ought to.
I will. And next comment, final comment of the week, to go along with the running joke that we made about Jimmy should make a comment and then I should respond to it and then you should respond to my comment. He did actually go through with it and leave a comment.
Oh, right. Fuck.
I just haven't got round to responding to it. Again, been so busy.
I forgot.
But so here comes the comment to the podcast I'm in. Laughing faces. Thanks for having me back. Pleasure as always. Certainly earned that motor mouth title. Apologies on that. When I was editing that episode, and as I do, I always come up with the name tags and everything for the bottom. And I could not think of one to start the episode for Jimmy. And then it got to the bit where I told him to shut the fuck up. I was like, Motor Mouth. It's got to be Motor Mouth. I have to put Motor Mouth as his nickname. So, unfortunately, until you do something else that earns you a new nickname, Jimmy, that is going to be your little subtitled name when you appear on this show. Motor Mouth, yeah. Jimmy Lee Clifford. I'm just sorry. It's how these things happen. When Tony appears on the show, he's going to be, Tony Harris, son of the Pertwee. It's just how it is. I'm sorry. You got to earn yourself a new title. It's like playing Fable. Where you earn different titles for doing different things. You never play Fable?
No.
I always got the title of Chicken Chaser because every time I saw a chicken, I could not resist but kick it as far as I could kick it in Fable.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on. Apologies on that, but with this topic, there's so much to cover and it's hard to contain it. Like I just said a minute ago, we barely scratched the surface with what's out there in terms of Star Wars expanded media. We only referenced one or two things. There is so much more out there. And I mean, there's video games and then there's comic books that have spun off from the video games. So, and there's even still video games coming out now, like Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor and things like that. There are still new things being added to Star Wars expanded media all the time. So we can't possibly cover all of it in one episode, especially when, we had to keep to a pinpoint time last week. So looking forward to the next one. Till then, I'll continue catching up on the boys and the other good squishies. Little cowboy hat emoji because he's famous for his cowboy hat around town.
Oh yeah. Okay.
There we go. That is it for the shout outs.
Very marvelous. Very marvelous.
Very nice. Bloody tasty. Bloody tasty.
Yes.
But moving on then, I suppose we should ask that age-old question that Nostradamus himself still to this day has not figured out. What you been watching, mate?
Yeah.
So then, go on then, Guy. What have you been watching this week apart from Supernatural?
Not much.
Same.
Busy boy.
In all honesty, I have not had chance to sit and watch anything. Well, I watched one thing that was new this week. That was it. Well, I say new, it's from like 2021, but it's new to me.
No, what's it? Friday night, went to a party. Rather good. Somewhat overserved myself. Came back, had some food, and watched the first episode of the new series of The Bear. Fell asleep pretty much of it.
I had that happen one night when I tried to catch up on Supernatural as much as I could. I had to, in the following morning, I had to skip back like 3 episodes because it had just kept rolling on while I was dozing on the sofa because I didn't even realize I'd fallen asleep. I was like, oh, this episode's really...
Yeah.
you know, it was one of those kind of nights, so I had to skip back a little bit. So I'm still catching up on Supernatural.
Yes, I'm gonna have to rewatch that episode of The Bear, but what did see of it was very good. So you know what it's like though. It's like you've had a lot to drink, then you've had takeaway.
Takeaway makes you tired any fucking way,
Yeah.
regardless of alcohol consumption. But the only new thing I watched this week, I started watching it last night. It
Hmm.
got late, so I finished watching it this afternoon. And it was a wonderful little documentary on Amazon Prime, and it's called Hail to the Deadites.
Okay.
Basically, it's not the story of the Evil Dead. It's the story of the fans of Evil Dead. Like
Oh, I
why
thought
they
it was
love
going
it
to be
so
like
much.
I
And
thought
it's
it was going to
little
be like Grateful Dead
no, it's
on
the
their dead heads.
Evil Dead pun. Yeah, Evil Dead fans call themselves Deadites. But
Okay.
yeah, it was a wonderful little documentary. It's only like 79 minutes. It's just over an hour long.
Hmm.
And you get to hear some wonderful, wonderful stories about the things that fans have done to show their appreciation to the Evil Dead as a franchise, to the characters that Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell and all the others that were involved helped to create. It shows
Hmm.
some really rare props. Like there's one part where they've got the original shotgun from the first film, not the double-barreled boomstick, the single-barreled one from the first one.
Oh.
They have interviews with Bruce Campbell's brother, talk about him when he served his time in the Marines and things like that. And
Hmm.
he's the one who owns the original shotgun. But there was this heartbreaking, but also wonderful little story in there that actually moved me to tears.
Oh.
There's this one fan who's talking about his love for Ash as a character. And
Hmm.
I kind of when he was giving his side of his take on the character, I was like, yeah, I can kind of see that. He said that Ash is sort of a reluctant hero, that he's in this weird situation, but no matter how messed up stuff gets, he always does his best to get out of it, to keep fighting, to never give up.
Yeah.
So he named his son Ash.
Hmm.
But his son was born with a problem with his heart. Basically, he
Oh.
had a half functioning heart.
Hmm.
And had lots of operations from the minute he was born. The guy reached out to Bruce Campbell, explained the story to him, and Bruce Campbell was like, I need to meet this kid. You know, I need to meet this kid.
Hmm.
But unfortunately, the day he was supposed to go to the convention to meet Bruce Campbell was the day his son was taken into hospital and sadly passed away.
Oh.
But right at the end of the video, right at the end of this documentary, actually shows you like a tweeted reply between the two of them because they did actually get to meet.
Yeah.
And it gives you the conversation between him and Bruce. And again, it nearly brought me to tears reading what they'd said to each other. I'm not going to give you the whole spiel of it, but go and watch it. It is a wonderful look at not just the world of Evil Dead, but the world of fandom.
Yeah.
Where like we're so passionate about these things because they spark something in us, and that's the whole kind of premise of this show, of this episode, this thing. That it's like you can come from any walk of life and be a massive fan, an obsessive fan of something like The Evil Dead or Star Wars or Transformers or something like that. But you also get to see just how normal these people are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I love seeing the two sides of it. The people who go to the conventions dressed up as Bruce Campbell, getting to meet Bruce Campbell. I was like, from his perspective, that must be one hell of a head trip that someone admires you so much. They dress up as a character you played and then go to a convention just for the chance to meet you. It's awesome. It's worth watching. If you've not watched it, go and check it out. Hail to the Deadites.
Ooh.
And it's also got clips from the Evil Dead musical in it as well.
Yeah.
Because there is an Evil Dead musical, if you didn't know that.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, apparently so. Apparently so.
All right.
But yeah, so that is pretty much all I've been watching. Supernatural, that. Everything else has been Tony time.
I've not had a chance to watch that today.
Oh,
Yeah,
One
because
demerits to the Random House.
yeah, well, we had one of Rose's friends stayed over Friday night,
Fair play, fair
so
play.
Saturday morning I couldn't exactly watch Tony Talk.
Yeah, I watched Tony Time while I had time on my hands. I was like, it's Saturday morning. I've got literally nothing to do.
Ooh,
I'm going to actually
okay.
watch Tony Time as it's airing for once.
What, 4 in the morning?
Not quite 4 in the morning, but I was up at like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. I had plenty of time to kill. So I was like, yeah, Tony Time.
Yes, and I just haven't had a chance to watch it today. So, sorry, Tony, I will catch up.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. Right. So then I think that's us going to move on to the main meat of this episode.
I know.
Yeah, of course, of course, of course. Although we haven't done the recasting thing in a while, but then again, nobody's made suggestions in the comments, so we can't.
Exactly. You don't make suggestions, we don't make recasts. So
Exactly, exactly.
So
Although
there,
I have been seeing a lot of Vincent Price's Doctor Strange kind of fan art out there, and I'm like vibing on that. It makes me want to buy that NECA Vincent Price figure and then a Marvel Legends Doctor Strange and just head swap. It
I'll
really
go with
does.
that. Yeah, that'd be cool.
But right, moving on to the main meat of tonight's episode, we are going to talk about one of our most beloved franchises here over at Calico. We have sucked the Predator more than once on this channel.
We
Especially
have.
when Prey came out. But this episode, we're going to talk about the expanded media of the Predator franchise. And this is going to cover comic books, video games, and kind of novels. There have been a few, but
What?
not as many as there have been comic books.
Hmm.
So, where should we start then, Guy?
Well, we best start at the beginning.
I suppose we should.
Once upon a time.
Yes,
No,
back
no.
as we say about the Star Wars franchise on here, we remember the dark times when Predator content was few and far between.
It was a film.
Pardon?
It was a film.
Yes, it was a film starring.
It was a film. That were about it.
There was the first two films. Yeah, that was pretty much all we had.
Yeah.
And if we wanted a Predator fix, we needed to go to our local comic book shop.
We did.
Pick up some comic books. So that's what we're going to talk about straight away. Now, I have the original run of the Alien versus Predator comic books. Now, a lot of this is going to be Alien versus Predator centric because
Hashtag humble brag.
humble fucking brag. But to be honest, when it comes to the Predator expanded universe, a lot of the Alien stuff does overlap with it.
Yeah.
Even if it's not a direct Alien versus Predator comic book, there are little nods and references like Weyland-Yutani and things like that. So they are basically in the same universe. So that's what we're going to go with. But up first, we have the original run from Dark Horse Comics. This was it started off as a 4-part series, but they added an issue 0, which is basically an extended epilogue.
Yeah.
No, prologue. Extended prologue, and it tells it from the Predator's point of view. But each comic book has fantastic artwork. I think some of these covers were done by Mike Mignola of Hellboy fame. Some of them
You're correct.
is kind of style to them. That one personally is my favorite one. I'd like that as a giant art print.
Yeah.
But these comic books here tell the story of a character named Machiko Noguchi. I do have an action figure of her in storage. It's in storage. But it tells the story of her on the planet of Ryushi. She's the head of a cattle farming ranch, basically. So it's like future ranchers, cattle ranching in the future. There's a few Wild West elements thrown in there, like the speeder bikes are like, they dress in like cowboy dusters and they got cowboy hats and they're like lever action, like futuristic rifles, that kind of thing. It's best aesthetic I can akin it to is Firefly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that kind of aesthetic to it. But yeah, the ranchers are all about to celebrate. They've got their first big haul of cattle being taken off planet. They're about to become mega, well, not mega rich, but get a big payout, and their lives are about to change for the better.
Yay!
That is until a predator hunting party decides that that's the planet they're going to use for a rite of passage, where they hunt xenomorphs, more commonly known to us British people as the aliens. And yeah, craziness fucking ensues. It's a very, very good storyline. Right, I think right now is a good time to adapt this story into a film, in my personal opinion.
I'd agree with that. I would agree with that, actually.
And one of the cool things I love, I think it's in the first issue, to kind of immerse, I'll see if I can show this off, but to immerse you in the world a little bit more. I remember correctly in issue 1, it's got a map of the layout of the compound. So when you see these different scenes happening, I told you my computer would go off. When you see different battles happening in different parts, because you've got the map, you kind of get where everyone is geographically, and it helps get you more into the story. I think it's in this one.
Yeah.
Love that artwork as well. That is another one I want as an art print.
Or a back piece.
Ooh, yeah. Ah, yeah, here we go. That is the layout of the compound. And it just gives you so much more immersion, knowing where each thing is in relation to each other.
Yeah.
When you see a panel and they're reporting from the med bay, where, you know, and they're talking to someone in, say, the mess hall, you know where that is in relation to each other. And it's like, oh, they might as well be on the fucking moon to each other. You know what I mean? It kind of makes you realize how important the stakes are and how spread out these people are and how fucked they actually are.
Yeah.
So I just love that little moment. It's one thing that I do have the omnibus version of it down here as well, which does have because there was a sequel series to this where it continued the story of Machiko, and it is in the omnibus. But the only thing about that is it doesn't have the map layout and all the little extra bits, which is why I love having these. I never read them. They stay in their plastic packaging. If I want to read the story, I've got the graphic novel.
Yeah.
But have you read those ones, Guy?
Yes, a long time ago, but yes, I did read. And you were right, they're very good.
Yes. But bouncing off along that line as well, and I've talked about this multiple times. There is the actual novelization of that full storyline, and that is the character. Yeah. That's the character of Machiko when she's accepted into the Predator tribe. But this one, like I said, this definitely goes a lot deeper into the Predator side of things, because you get their inner monologues, which you obviously don't get in the comic book. So you get more their side of things and the way they're seeing things. And when you realize that they're not just attacking the humans because one of them made a mistake and crashed into them and it killed one of them, that you get the rationale behind it. It's not a retaliation attack just because oh, you fucked up, you attacked us. They see it as an attack on their hunting party. Goes, and it is the full story that's covered in the omnibus as well. I mean, it's it's all of those stories collected into one book.
Yeah.
And if you've never read it, worth tracking down. I got this on Amazon for, believe it or not, a penny.
Wicked.
So, there we go. That's that.
That is that.
Right, I'm going to throw it over to you now, Guy. Anything you would like to talk about from the Predator Expanded Universe?
Yes, comic-wise, I would definitely like to talk about Batman versus Predator.
Yes, I did have those graphic novels when I was a teenager. Unfortunately, they got lost in the sands of time. But yeah, I remember reading those and they were good.
Yeah, the first 4 issues, especially the first story, was an incredibly atmospheric book.
And you can actually get a action figure collection from NECA that has in a 2-pack the Predator and Batman in the armored suit.
Power armor. Yeah.
Yeah. You can get those as action figures from NECA.
No, nice. Oh, mine then.
They also
But,
did a Superman versus Alien one like that as well,
mm,
and a Joker Xenomorph. Had a green. It was white. Had a green dome and bright red mouth.
okay.
Apparently, that's from a comic book as well, but I've not read that one.
Nor me. But no,
Batman versus Predator was awesome.
Batman versus Predator is brilliant. It's a great merging between DC Comics and Dark Horse.
Again,
Fully recommend.
Another thing I'd like to see in live action.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, get Fox and DC to work together.
Mm,
But then again, it's House of Mouse now, so I don't think that would happen.
probably not.
No, but you never know. Marvel characters versus Predator.
Yeah,
Even
which
if it was
brings me on.
even if it was a one-off half-an-hour special, Predator versus Punisher PvP.
Mm. Well, that does bring me on to a book I'm in the middle of reading at the minute, which is that must be Wolverine versus Predator.
Ooh.
Seeing as Dark Horse no longer own the property.
Yeah, it
It's
defaulted back to Disney when they bought it. I was talking to Jimmy Lee
It's now
about this
Marvel,
tonight. Yeah, when Disney bought out Fox, they basically ended the contract with Dark Horse because they wanted it all to themselves,
Yeah.
as Disney are prone to doing. But
Yeah.
I can get where they're coming from a standpoint now, because we were talking the other week about last week about continuity within Star Wars and how Disney seem to keep dipping in and out of what is and isn't canon.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what they want to do with Predator now, because they've done Prey. There's a sequel coming out to Prey. They clearly want to do something with the franchise. So if doing these films is touching upon things that maybe happened in the comic books, like tangent people, sorry, but I know the big thing that pissed off a lot of comic book fans was the fact that the pistol from Predator popped up in Prey, whereas in the comic books it was already established how the Predator got hold of that pistol.
Yeah.
And that for most fans was considered canon to Predator 2. But since Prey's come out, it's now, much like with a lot of the Star Wars stuff, got wiped from canon.
Yeah.
So clearly Disney want to do something with the Predator franchise. And if they're going to do it through like the Fox subsidiaries and doing it with Hulu and things like that, I'm all for that, because Prey, as we said when it came out, for me, was a return to form. It was it wasn't better than the original, but it was as good as the original.
Yeah. But in a totally different way, but still as good.
Yeah, yeah, and it had. We said this during when we talked about Prey before, but it had just enough callbacks to the original for me.
Yeah.
You know, they did the classic, you know, if it bleeds, we can kill it. Yeah, that's like, I'll be back. You know, if it's not in that franchise somewhere, if someone doesn't say that line in that particular franchise, the fans will not be happy. You know, it has to be said.
Yeah. But Wolverine versus Predator is incredibly good so far.
I'll have to get hold of a copy of that.
Yes, this is good.
Right, we'll jump to video games now, and then we'll
go.
And then we'll circle back round to comic books at the end. But I'm going to go with not my favorite Alien versus Predator video game, but still a good one if you're a fan of the franchise. Alien versus Predator Extinction for the PlayStation 2. Now, if you never played this one, it was basically an Alien versus Predator does Command and Conquer.
Right. Got it. Okay.
It's an RTS game. You know, you build your troops up and then you go out and attack. Now, apparently this did get a PC release and it was much, much better on the PC because you can have a higher troop count.
Yeah.
But even given the limitations of the PlayStation 2 at the time, this game is pretty good if you like those kind of overhead view, build up your army, build up your troops, gather, read. If you're into that kind of gameplay, it is worth a play. It is a fun game, especially when the AI can get a little bit unruly on this.
Right.
And I remember when I played it one time back in the day, I made a whole tribe of Pred aliens. I was playing as the aliens. I made a whole tribe of Pred aliens. I sent them all off to go and attack this base that we had to destroy to win the match. And I noticed as I'm looking at the map in the top corner of the screen, there's all these green dots, which are my aliens, all up in one little corner. And there's just two little green dots right in the far bottom corner of the map, like as far away from the battle as you can get. So I scanned the camera over to see what's going on. And it's just two pred aliens sat down underneath the tree, occasionally roaring and hissing at each other and nothing else. And I'm like, are these two pacifists or something? Have I created pacifist hybrid pred aliens here?
Yeah, they're vegan too.
Yeah, they were just like, you know what? I'm going to sit under a tree and just fucking chill. Screw your war. I don't want to infect people. I don't want to infest people in the chat. No, it's too gory. I just want to chill.
Yeah. I'm a vegan.
And it looked even funnier because they had the dreadlocks hanging down the back. So it was like. But no, if you've never played that game, definitely worth a play.
I've not played that game, but it does sound good.
I'd say it's a 7 out of 10. Solid 7 out of 10.
I'll go over 7.
Oh, go on.
I'll go over 7.
Right. So, did you ever play that one? Yes, no?
No, but I'll go for a 7. 7 out of 10. I'll take it.
Right. This one I think you may have played. Again, on the PS2, but it was released on the Xbox as well. I do have the action figure to go with this game as well. Predator Concrete Jungle.
Oh, I played this shit after that.
Me too. I unlocked, I think, all but like one costume on it because there's multiple costumes you can unlock for it. And NECA are slowly pushing out action figures of this. They did do the main character, which is this one, Scarface. They did do him a while ago, but just recently they have brought out the experimented on Predators with like light up features and stuff.
Yeah.
But I've not actually seen those in person yet. So I can't pass comment on them. But the figure is absolutely phenomenal. But the storyline for this game is you play as a predator called Scarface, who visited Earth in the 1930s and went to a city called New Way City. This predator screwed up, tried to do their self-destruct mechanism thing, but ended up surviving it. As a result, they were abandoned on a hostile planet for 100 years. But their technology was recovered, and the humans started using it. Predators were sent in to retrieve it, and they never came back. So you, to redeem yourself, have been sent back to this city now known as Neonopolis. And you have to fight against all manner of wacky, zany, almost borderline comic book characters. Yeah. There are little winks and nudges to the films, like the leader of the Voodoo Gang is called King Willie.
Yeah.
So there's little wink, wink, nudge, nudge to the franchises there. Like I said, with the unlockable costumes, there are little winks and nudges to the other films as well. For me, the only thing that ever let that game down was the control scheme.
Yeah.
The control scheme was pure ass. It made no sense. Nothing was intuitive. The camera hated you. The camera actively sought to work against you trying to play the game. I honestly think it's one of those games that needs either a remaster with the fixed, or because we seem to be in the age now of video game remakes.
Yeah.
Like a lot of video games are getting remakes nowadays. The Tomb Raider series, years ago, got a complete reboot franchise to it. Do a remake of this, a solo Predator game, not the Hunting Grounds one we got that's an online multiplayer only game. No, give us a single player Predator game where we can jump around a city and hunt, an open world Predator game. Where the city is literally our fucking hunting ground. Give us that as a video game.
That would be marvelous.
Your thoughts on that game then, Guy?
Yeah, I echo your thoughts regarding the controls. Yeah, just dog shit, to be honest with you. But it's a good game, and I played it a lot. And I must admit, now I have a PS2 again.
You can borrow this. You can borrow
Yeah.
that as much as you like. My
Thank
my
you.
PlayStation is currently temperamental. I think I may need to try and source a new one
Mm,
because I tried to
so,
play Vice City on it a while ago,
oh yeah.
and I got maybe 2 missions in before it crashed itself.
Uh,
The disc, I checked the disc. The disc is as perfect as it can be for a 20-odd-year-old game.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It was as crisp as it can be.
Mm,
So it's definitely the PS2 that's causing it's having its issues.
yeah.
It's on its last legs, bless it.
Yeah.
But
Well, fair
right,
enough.
one last video game. One
Okay.
last one. This one's I say more recent one. It's nearly 15 years old at this point. It is the 2010 Alien versus Predator for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. It was
Mm,
available on PC as well. Now a
must have
lot of
missed that one.
like, it's good. It's
Mm,
short. A lot of people
oh,
complain that it was a very short game, but when I
that's not so good.
after I played it, right, one of my friends back when this first came out and I first got it, one of my friends said to me, "Oh, I've heard it's really short. I don't like short games." I was like, "No, no. See, this is the thing. I don't mind a short game if it's enjoyably short.
Mm,
You know, I don't like these games that seem to be ramping up to something and then all of a sudden it finishes.
yeah.
This game does exactly what it's supposed to do. It tells a story from the 3 points of view. You play as a Marine, an alien, or a predator. You go
Mm,
through the campaign, you see where each story intersects with the other, and it tells a very good story. Now, the Marine campaign you can do in 4 hours.
yeah.
Predator campaign about 6 because you have to rely more on stealth. So a lot of it is
Yeah. So,
distracting, then hiding, and then pouncing. You know, you have to
yeah.
be strategic with it. The alien, you can thrash through that in 2 to 3 hours if you're quick enough. Right. So all in all, it's less than 12 hours. But
Mm,
it's an enjoyable 12 hours because there's something about no matter how many times you sneak up behind a Marine and you get a different kill animation, and they're really
mm,
graphic. The graphics for it are brilliant, right? And the kills are awesomely graphic.
excellent.
It does not get old from start to finish. Every time you sneak down and stab them in the back with your wrist blades, or you
Mm,
catch the plasma trap and blow their legs off, no matter what, you always have fun with it. And you can replay it because you can try different strategies. Like, oh, I hid over here this time. Well, maybe if I distract them this way and kill them over here, I can do something different.
yeah.
It is an enjoyable game. There is a multiplayer function to it, and as far as I'm aware, it does still work.
All right.
There are people still playing it online.
Uh,
The one thing I will say is there's probably a lot of old school PC gamers out there going, "Oh, you didn't talk about
mm,
the 2002 Alien versus Predator game on PC." Yes, because I've never played it. I was one of those people who didn't have a PC until I was, nearly 40. So it was one of those games that I had to admire from afar. I've watched videos of it, I've watched playthroughs of it, I know
mm,
the general plot line of it, and yeah, it does look better than this one. Storyline wise, anyway, graphics not so much, but storyline wise, it looks better than this one.
yeah.
But for a more modern-ish take on the franchise, a first-person game where you've got different weapons and you've got when you play as the Marine, it is such a nostalgia trip for Alien fans because you've got the motion tracker and it makes the noise. The pulse rifle has that distinctive pulse rifle sound.
Mm.
It's such and
Oh, I love that.
there's love letter moments to the franchise. It does work on the Xbox One. So, Guy, one night you will have to pop round. We will fire it up and give it a playthrough.
Yeah, sounds good.
We'll have to do that. Right. There's my little spiel on video games. Guy, back to you. Anything you want to cover?
Yeah, more comics, I guess, because you covered the games there admirably, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm on a bit of a rant today. I do apologize.
It's all right. It's okay.
Been a good week.
Tess.
Been a good week. I'm happy. And
There you go.
I get chatty when I get happy, so I do apologize.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
Back to the comic books.
Mm,
I've got here Volume 1 and 2 of the AVP Omnibus. As I said, the story of the original comic books is included in this, and the
Yeah.
to it is also included in Omnibus 1. So the vast majority of this is actually those stories collected. There
Yeah.
are a few newer ones towards the end. The one that I mentioned to you a while ago about the Japanese man who lives for centuries because of the predator technology he finds.
Mm.
That's the start of it.
Yeah.
And that one is actually called, let me flip back a page because it'll have the front cover, Eternal. There you go.
Mm.
That's the cover for it.
Yeah.
But all of these omnibuses are absolutely amazing. We even get a black and white comic book in this one.
Oh, nice. I do like a black and white.
I was going to say, I do like a good, not all comic books are good in black and white, but when they're
No.
done right like that,
Mm.
perfect. But these are very good if you don't want to have a shelf full of, you know, individual comic books or, you know, wrapped in plastic and stuff like that. Because,
Yeah.
like I said, I literally bought this so I could read the story without having to touch my originals. I have read them once, the originals, just because I had to. But whenever I want to read the story now, I either go to this or I go to the book. But I think it does give you a table of contents, and I'll give you a quick guess. We have Alien versus Predator, Blood Time, Duel, War, Eternal, Old Secrets, and The Web. So that's that one.
The web. Is that where they look online and they find predator porn and stuff?
That is where they become online predators.
We don't have to leave our planet. This is great. Come on, Gerald. We can relax.
On to the
Predator.
second volume. I have talked about the story in this one before. It's this one featured here. Deadliest of the Species, written by one of the writers, was it Chris Claremont.
Ah, nice.
More famous for his work on Guy
Spider-Man.
and
X-Men.
which saga?
Oh, fucking hell. Yeah.
Phoenix Saga.
Yeah.
But it gives you the page contents list here, right? Okay, so
Give me a sec.
Deadliest of the Species
Give
starts
me a sec.
Oh. You want me to pause?
Yeah.
Sorry about that, folks. Slight technical hitch there, but
Yeah.
yeah, right. I'll give you a general idea.
Mm.
Deadliest of the Species. Again, I love the artwork here. This story is noticeable because it introduces the idea of a female predator, which looks no different to a male predator apart from the obvious. But yeah, that starts on page 5 after all the forewords and credits and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. The next story starts on page 305.
What?
Yeah, so basically, let me see if I can get to page 305. Trying to find the numbered pages now. Oh, God. No, Body is the next one. Keep talking, guy.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's cracking off here then? So
Body. I'm trying to find where the
body.
flips
No,
over.
no. Wow. So this is the bit, ladies and gentlemen, where someone didn't prepare.
But yeah, basically, that much of it, this bit here, is one story.
Shit, man.
It's the Chris Claremont one, and like I said, there are moments in it where it goes full on. Like I said, it's the one that's got the dream sequence where she starts peeling her skin off and she's an alien underneath. I'm just trying to see if I can flick through to find that page to show you the artwork, because the artwork's great, but it's still the premise of it is like, excuse me. But again, it's Chris Claremont. He does like to get metaphysical and get a little bit
Mm,
out there and a bit strange, a bit weird. I mean, look at the Phoenix Saga for fuck's sake.
yeah.
Nearly finding it. I know it's around here somewhere.
God, blimey. Someone didn't prepare, you see, ladies and gentlemen.
No, I should have earmarked the page that it was on. I should have
Yes, you should.
done this earlier.
Mhm.
Yeah, there we go. Look, that's where she's starting to peel her skin off and all that.
Yeah. Hold on.
Pause again,
Yep.
and we're back again.
No wonder I fucking drink.
Oh yeah. Right, moving on to the last bit of visual aid that I have over here. This is sort of a follow-on from the AVP Omnibus because it is listed as Volume 3.
Hmm.
It's where the events from those books separated off to go more Predator on its own.
Yeah.
So there are events that took place in the previous stories that do pop up in this one. But one of the main stories for this one is actually one of mine and Gaz's favorites. Shout out to Gaz, big time.
Good guys.
It features the Bad Blood and the Enforcer Predator, the ones that we've got the figures, the box set
Yeah.
showed off.
Yeah.
That story is in this, and it's
Cool.
visually it's a gory as hell story. There's one thing where the Bad Blood is just literally coated in freaking blood, and he's ripping people apart. I mean, quickly flick open and find a page because I guarantee you there'll be something good. Here we go. Like I said, covered fully in blood.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Again,
Nice.
if you've never read these stories, go and check them out. What more can we say, really? Reading recommendations, we've shown them off. Alien vs. Predator Omnibus Volumes 1, 2, and the third one. The games, the novels. Go check it out. There, like Star Wars, there is a lot out there.
Yeah. What would you like to see?
Oh. Now, what are we talking? Comic book, movie, game?
Movie or TV series?
I would like to. I talked about. I haven't spoken to this person in a very long time. They do live out in Florida, so communication is a little bit. But we did talk about this a long time ago, and it's something that I think would work very, very well. I would like to see a TV series set on the Predator homeworld, sort of along the lines of Avatar. Have it where, set in the future, humans have started exploring the stars and they stumble across the Predator homeworld, not knowing that it's the Predator homeworld. And shenanigans happen, they end up crash landing on the planet, and have it sort of be a fish out of water. They learn while waiting for rescue.
Yeah.
Because rescuing deep space is going to take X amount of years. He has to adapt to their culture, or doesn't even have to be a he, could be a she. Just have it be a human character that, much like in the comic books with Machiko, adapts into the Predator culture and learns their ways and sort of becomes one of them. But then when humans do show up, they have that conflict of interest of, I've been with these people so long, I've accepted their ways and they've accepted me in. But these are my true people, humans. What line do what side of the line do I stand on? And I think that would work brilliantly as a TV series, personally. Because you could even sort of adapt this story into it. Have episode 1 be the initial attack and the outbreak of the aliens and the predators and whatnot. Episode 2 is them going back to the Predator homeworld.
Yeah.
I think I would love to see something like that, because as long as the franchise has gone, we are yet to see properly, fully, the Predator homeworld in live action. Because, in AVP Requiem, as bad as that film was, the one thing I can say it gets a little bit of praise from is just that short little bit where you see the Predator gearing up. and it's on the Predator homeworld. It's literally like not even 30 seconds of the film,
Yeah.
but you see it briefly, right? I'd like to see more of that. Okay, we've seen it lots in the comic books. There was rumors that Predators, the third film, was set on the Predator homeworld.
Yeah.
It's since been confirmed. No, it's not. Like they say in the film, it's a game reserve.
Yeah.
It's where they go to train hunting. But yeah, I'd love to see that, or like I said, just adapt this story into a TV series. That would be fine with me too. Guy, what about you?
I'd like to see. Obviously, I'd like to see the return of Dutch. That would be nice.
I do know trivia on that.
And Harrigan.
Again, I do know trivia on that. It was supposedly supposed to happen with the film Predators. The idea was that because Dutch and Harrigan had killed predators, that they were the ones who were kidnapped and taken to the planet and put in the game kind of thing. There was even talk way back when, I think in late 90s, early 2000s, of basically having them to plucked from Earth and put in a gladiatorial style arena on the Predator homeworld. So there have been attempts to bring the Predator homeworld to film before. It's just never happened because the downside of showing something like that is the budget would be astronomical.
I know.
And you'd have, as much as I hate to say this, they'd have to do a lot of CGI because no matter how hard you try, you cannot have that many people in Predator costumes as extras. It would be like the original Planet of the Apes films where they had like 200 extras running around in 8 masks. You know what I mean? It would just be.
Yeah, but I wouldn't do it like that.
No.
I'd have Harrigan and Dutch as part of a very shadowy black government organization.
Again, that
keeping an
eye. The 2019 Predator film. That was supposed to be the end hook where Arnie would have made his cameo as Dutch. Basically, the survivors of this more recent Predator attack were going to be inducted into his unit that are basically Predator hunters. There is a slight continuation of it, and I think it is considered canon. I bitched about it earlier, the video game Predator Hunting Grounds, the online multiplayer game. If you get the DLC, you can play as Dutch.
Yeah.
And there are audio logs voiced by Arnold Schwarzenegger himself that actually continue this. It explains where Dutch has been between the films and the year 2025.
Yeah.
It explains what he's been doing. And I haven't listened to them all because I did play the game. I didn't play it enough to unlock all of the tapes.
Yeah.
But I would like to see him come back again. I think the reason why Arnie turned down the cameo at the end of The Predator was simply because
not enough cash.
No, I'm not so much not enough cash. I think he wanted a bigger part because it's like, and I kind of get where he's coming from. If he's going to come back to the franchise after this long, it would be unfair to the fans to tease them with a cameo right at the end of the film, setting up a sequel that potentially may never happen because it's happened with Terminator. You know what I mean? He's put his all into it, and then the film's flopped, and but I would like to see him come back. Harrigan, God bless Danny Glover. I don't think he'd be up for it.
Well, no, probably not. But
I'd like
it doesn't stop me wanting.
It doesn't stop you wanting. I think what would be good to see them come back is if they were like the Colonel was in the first Predator movie, the guy in the helicopter, the guy with the.
Yeah.
I think it would be good to see Arnie and Danny Glover fill that role. They're the guys at Mission Command. They're the ones going right. They're the ones watching all the screens and doing, giving out the orders and everything. But they're not.
Yeah.
I think it could work if they did that route of it because God bless them, both of them now are at the ages where seeing them running around in combat gear, shooting guns, fighting a predator fisticuffs, it would not look good, I'm afraid. just my personal take on it. As much as I'd love to see it, if a time machine was possible, I could go back in time and make this as a film when they were both younger and at their prime.
Well, no, that's the thing. That's why you have them as this shadowy government organisation. They send out the younger ones to fucking do the hard work. They just
Or
they're just at the back of it all.
here's a thought, actually:
Pulling the strings.
make it as a video game,
Mm, yeah.
because then you could have it set whenever in the
Mm,
timeline, and have them two be the ones who are giving you your missions and your
yeah.
predator squad going out fighting predators. And the storyline for the game is there is a predator invasion.
That's it.
See, we need jobs in the creative departments of these companies. We really fucking
Yeah.
do.
I did have an idea for another series
Go on then.
as well. I think I told it you before. I may not have done, I don't know. But yeah, sort of like it's a cross between Predator and Highlander. So it's flashbacks.
Yeah, I think we did talk about this before.
So for instance, like the Jack the Ripper actually just got offed by the Predator.
Yeah, or maybe Jack the Ripper was a predator.
Yeah.
Something like that. That would be interesting because I
Mm.
think we did talk about this before. Yeah, we sort of
And
mentioned like, have it
yeah, flashbacks.
have it follow the life of a predator.
Yeah, because they're quite long lived.
Well, touching upon some of the lore that's brought up in the comic books, apparently their lifespan is anywhere from 500 up right the way up to 10,000 years.
Yeah.
Apparently, I don't know if it's going to come across on camera, but where I'm pointing there is my predator clan leader,
Mm.
which is it's based on an old Kenner figure from the 90s, but the little bio card that comes with it states that no one knows his real age, but it is suspected that he's upwards of nearly 10,000 years old. He's one of the oldest living predators, and he's still physically powerful.
Yeah.
So I think predators are one of those species where, depending on the writer, they can live as long as you need them to. So I think a TV series where each episode follows like a decade of this predator's life and it's flashing through different points of our history.
Yeah.
Like you said,
But you also
Go
have the lone reporter who is, trying to prove all this shit and then
yeah,
trying to get hold of the government saying, what the fuck?
yeah, and then you have Arnie show up being part of the
Yeah,
show.
and they're all going, oh
Thing.
no, we don't
Yeah,
know what you're talking about.
yeah,
Oh.
I think that could work. I think that could work very, very well. I mean, there have been comic book instances where a human has actually accidentally ingested predator blood and it's extended their lifetime. So you could actually have someone who's hunting predators to keep themselves alive.
Yeah.
Tell it from 2 points of view. The predator that he's hunting, and this guy keeps killing his friends off. Had this cat and mouse between the two of them over the centuries. That I think.
Yeah.
We need to get jobs at Fox.
We do.
Fox, Disney, Marvel. I might start sending emails of like, how about this idea? But yeah, I think that kind of
That does. I think that will do us.
wraps everything up. I mean, again, like we said about Star Wars last week, there is so much expanded media for this franchise that we've barely scratched the surface here. I mean, Dark Horse had the license to not just Predator, but also Aliens, which is why AVP ran for so long. There was comic books coming out as late as 2021, I think was the last run that Dark Horse had. So, and they had the license from 86 onwards. There's nigh on 40 years worth of comic book history with Predator and Aliens. So we can't cover everything. We've covered the ones that we've read, that we love. Same with video games. We've covered the ones that we like and we love. Outside of that, do your own exploring. We're pointing the way. Like, these are your start points. If you want to know more, there you go.
Get out there, folks.
Go find it. But right
Come
there.
in. The water's fine.
Yeah. Don't worry, you ain't got no big sharks floating around. No Bruce. No Bruce.
Just a toffee crisp I took out of the wrap in the flood.
done that, you know.
So have I.
Watch this.
Pair of cunts we are.
Yeah. But anyway, right. So it's good night from me.
It's good night from me.
We shall see you in the next one.
Yes, indeed. Take it easy,
Night,
folks.
everyone. Have a
We'll be
great
back.
week. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.